Oh man, that was strong. Hi everyone, I'm Terry, and thank you for being here. And yeah, I've finally started drinking more water. More water is what I've started drinking. Um, More water than ever. I've always had alkaline water, but now I'm drinking about at least 6 of these a day. And they're pretty good. This is my wine flask. My corksicle wine flask, you know, and the hard stuff, rose water. It's hard if you drink it by itself. That's why I love to dilute it. You know what? I love rose water, and I'll tell you why. It's full of antioxidants. It's hydrating. You can drink it, so you can consume it. Use it internally, you can use it externally. I like to mist some rose water on my face every morning when I first wake up and wash my face. I go to the fridge. I have a bottle mister and I mist it all over my face, or sometimes I use watermelon water. Either way, this stuff is so good, and I'm drinking more water than ever. I mean, it's amazing. You might wonder why I have it in my corksicle wine flask. Well, because this is the only container, the only vessel I've ever found that works. It really keeps hot liquids hot and it keeps cold liquids cold. The only liquid I have every day is water. So I drink my water every day. I'm drinking more water than ever. Yeah, I've become a drinker. So what is it that's really on my mind? Actually, something that's just really liberated me, and that is minimalism, but not the minimalism that you think, because I really am materialistic and I love stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I like to have two of everything. You know, I want as much stuff as I can have. My closet, I love my bags, my shoes, my clothing, and I really love jeans. But yeah, so that's not the minimalism I'm talking about, even though I'm coming to you from my beautiful minimalistic new living room. Oh, and then I'll also show you in a few minutes some of the art that I've been working on to benefit my goal for a nonprofit animal charity. And you know, it's my art. Art is interpretive. So I've been working on these, and you know, this helps me with my journey. What's my journey? My journey is to become the best me that I can become, so that I can be the best for my passion. So you know what? This is what I feel everybody should do. In order for you to feed the utmost passion in your life, the dearest goal, you have to be the best you. That way you can be the best for what you love the most. And what I love the most is animals. I'm an animal activist. I'm a health advocate, public speaker, life coach. But most of all, my biggest passion in life is to be an animal activist, to rescue animals and to fight for their rights. That's what means the most to me. And in order to do that, I figured out that I have to be at my best. And really, you know what? I've been through so much. I'm such a warrior. I mean, I've had such a dysfunctional childhood and upbringing because I've had sociopath parents, and my upbringing has been the most adverse. I've been through difficulties. I've been through it all. I've been arrested, I have been in jail, I have been in prisons, and I've been talking about this publicly to local engagements that I do. And I love speaking. I love to inspire, motivate, and help others. Uh, but what I really want the most is to save animals. I wish I could save them all. And it feels overwhelming because I know that I can't get to them all. And I'm just starting this journey. So, in order to feed my passion for animals, I have to be the best me that I can be. And that's been a job. I mean, somebody might ask, how can you be at your best when all the adversities are catching up with you and finally taking their toll and causing ADHD and always present and sometimes crippling anxiety and depression and causing you to be such an introvert? Well, I used to fight all of those friends, but now I've made friends with them. That's why they're friends. Yeah, I thought instead of fighting the ADHD, instead of battling the crippling anxiety, the loyal friend called stress and depression, I invited them to stay. I think it's the best thing I've done. And now I can really be me. You know, sometimes when there's a whirlpool, okay, like a literal whirlpool, I like that I use the word literal in its true meaning. Not like other people who are like, I was just literally dying. Oh my God, I was like literally awake, okay? I was just like literally standing there. Are you serious? Okay, no. But yeah, when there's a literal whirlpool in the middle of the sea, have you ever wondered what you could do to save yourself? Well, if you keep paddling and fighting it, you're just going to go further and further down into that spinning vortex. But when you don't fight it and you let go and you're not hanging on to the side, you'll find that you might not sink into it. It's actually the law of physics. So yeah, and I'm just brushing on it slightly, you know, because well, I'm not a physicist, you know. So I'm doing my best here to explain. It's an analogy, and I think it's the best one. So I've decided not to fight it. Now, where does the minimalism come in? It's a minimalism of people. I decided that I'm just not going to care anymore. I mean, I don't care about people. A lot, not all, are just selfish, self-centered, self-serving, and plain old evil. I don't like humans. I don't like humanity, even though I'm a human, even though I have countless flaws, and I still have to work on them because I have so many. But I don't like humans. And I used to be that girl who so easily fell in love with men. I mean, if a man came along and showed me the slightest kindness and the slightest interest, I fell in love with him, you know? And I just couldn't let go. I was always into this man and that man and crying on this man's shoulder during a date about another man. And then, you know, crying on another man's shoulder about another man, and, you know, so on and so forth and so on and so forth. Well, and during those times, I always thought, you know what? I'll never stop caring. I'll never be able to let go. You know, and then I had all these relationships that just didn't work out, you know, and oh, and especially if the sex was good, well, that would still get me. But anyways, what I'm saying is that you can have a minimalism of people and you can let go so easily once your eyes are fully opened. Once your eyes are fully open, you can never see it any other way but in its reality. Then you can see people for who they are and what they're really doing and what their intentions are. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to go into war mode. You can just leave them and not care and go on with your life. Me, for instance, once my eyes were opened, it became so simple. I could see everything so clearly, right? Yeah. And it's like I could never go back to being the way I was before. Just like when I was that other girl, I never thought I could be anything but that other girl who was always into this guy and that guy, and thought that the current one was the be all end all, and it was like this and like that. And if you've seen my vlogs and my history, then you'll know that I was there. Now I just don't care anymore. Hey, it's so simple now. And it's not just that way with men or romantic relationships as a whole. I mean, you can use that method for any relationship, whether it's a neighbor, a coworker, a best friend, a casual acquaintance, just a friend, a group of people If they're treating you some way by displaying certain traits and your eyes are open, you can see it so clearly and know that that person is either right for you and it's you who's tripping, or that person is no good for you because that person in reality is really not that good generally, and you can just let go. That's all there is to it. Me, now, I just let go. If a guy or even a friend or an acquaintance is not right for me because they're not treating me the right way, as in simple common courtesy, decency, knowing your worth, because I know I'm a good person. I have so many flaws, but on the other hand, I'm also a good person and I know it. See, here's the thing. If you're a good person, you know it, and if you're an asshole, you know it. And the way that people react to you and treat you, well, you know whether you deserve it or not. But if you know you don't deserve bad treatment, well, then you can just let those people go. Now, that's different than somebody who might be in your life to actively cause you harm. That's a different story. Whether it's somebody whether it's somebody who's found you online, as I've had the experience with a stalker, who's somebody who's just, a passerby and trying to actively harm you, even when you've been avoiding them, well, that's a different story. You have to then, it becomes a matter of self-defense, so you have to then defend yourself. I'm no pushover. Here's an example. A few weeks ago, I was somewhere and somebody was attempting to break into my car while I was standing just a few feet away. In the light of day, it was about 6:30. And these days, newer cars, you can't even break into them. Well, not that I'm aware of, and I certainly hadn't left my car unlocked. This guy, I'll tell you this little story time. He came along riding a bike, and then he had another bike next to him that he was rolling along with him. He had two bicycles. My guess is that on his way to my car, he had stolen that bicycle because one of the bicycles was Cruelty, which is the one he was riding. The other one was this like beautiful turquoise, seemingly brand new shiny bicycle. So what he did is he, pretty as you please, rode up to my car, dismounted his bicycle, parked it, then parked the other bicycle, and of all the nerve, proceeded to start breaking into my car. with people around. Well, you know what? He also had something in his hand. He could have hurt me. Well, me, as a person with a record in the state of California, legally I'm not allowed to own a gun, firearm, So, however, I followed the advice of a cop that I had spoken to before. He told me, but now that doesn't stop you from having a knife or a baseball bat. I don't really agree with using a knife or a baseball bat, because to do that, depending on the knife, you have to kind of get up close and personal to stab someone if you need to defend yourself. And a baseball bat is not foolproof. They can always grab it from you and use it on you, But now that I am a trained fighter, I am. I decided that that's not the only thing that I'm going to use to defend myself. So I hurt him really bad. He was almost disabled and he still tried to fight me, but I hurt him really bad. Now, he ran off. What had happened is that as he was attempting to break into my vehicle and had his back to me, I took one of the bicycles and I put it aside. The other bicycle remained. So the one that I managed to grab and put to the side was the one that he was riding. Okay, now keep that in mind. So, when we got into it and I hurt him really bad, he got scared, and at the same moment he asked me, "Where's my other bike, bitch?" And I said, "I took it, bitch." Okay, because he's a bitch. And I hurt him really bad and he scuttled off. So he got away, but I called the cops. They came, I made a report, and they took the bicycle because now they take DNA. Yeah, that's an attempted burglary. And if I was in the car, I think it would have been a robbery, but who knows? I'm not an attorney, so. But from what they told me, they take DNA now, so they're attempting to find him. And I told them about the spare bicycle, and I told them that I think he has a record because, I mean, come on now, let's really think about it logically. And one of the cops said they all have records, and I told them about myself. I mean, are they not going to know? So anyways, they're attempting to find him and he can be charged. Yes, I'm pursuing that. So the point is, when somebody's actively trying to harm you, you have to defend yourself. But for the everyday garden variety snakes, well, you know what? Dump them and go on with your life. Me, when I wake up in the morning now, I'm not thinking about that guy or that person at the market who was standoffish or rude or anything. I'm thinking about what I want to eat. I'm thinking about that delicious coffee that I'm going to make when I grind those beans, and that delicious rose water that I'm going to be drinking all day after that. I think about what I'm going to do with my day. Sometimes, if my anxiety is really bad and that friend is there to stay for the next couple days, well, what I do is I get on my other phone and I look at my cameras. Yeah, sometimes I like enjoying my cameras and looking at the view outside. Well, I have cameras inside here all over, and I have cameras outside. Hey, you know what? A little exposure, a lot of safety. That's what I think, and I'm okay with it. Some days I do my paintings. Now that I have several paintings under my belt, I'm working on my home. I'm currently working on an accent wall in one of the rooms. I'm doing a faux foil finish to make it look like a mid-century foil wallpaper wall, and I think it's coming along really well. I enjoy doing it. It's very tedious and hard work, and you need a lot of different shades to get that just right modeled ombre foil finish, but it's getting there. And I think tomorrow I'm probably going to be done. So I do what I enjoy. And until the right person comes along in my life, I feel blessed just to have people who do support me and do care about me, And that's the minimalism. You get rid of all the clutter that you don't need. And sometimes for some people, like me, that clutter is in the form of human beings. Because there's a lot of them that you don't need. Get rid of the toxic people in your life. If they're causing you any problems in your head, they're toxic. You not only don't need them, but you can't have them around. Because you want to clean up and you want to be a better you so that you can soon be the best you. And when you're the best you, you can be the best for your passions. Thank you for being here, and I hope to see you soon when I'm going to have one other very exciting story time. And if you like this, please hit subscribe. If you have any comments, anything positive is always welcome. I love interaction. I love to meet new people. So hey, drop me a line if you like. Subscribe to me here. And I'm also on TikTok, TikTok is at the real Tressa Arasheben. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you soon.